We're going to go ahead and get started. Matrix 401, add, edit, listing maintenance, learning how to add the photos, update, doing a reverse prospecting, and more. Why is this so exciting for me? How many of you have already taken 101, 201, 301, 401, 501, and then you do it again, you do it again? Why? One of the reasons most of you are here is because you want access to the multiple listing service. You are members of the association because you want access to the MLS. And if you don't know, we've added a 6th part coming in August. Why? Rentals are hot. How many of you feel that rentals are hot? How many of you think that in this coming future, because of the way things are going in the industry and how we don't have that many listings yet, we're slowly recuperating, rentals are a big deal? And then what's happening with those investors or property owners, right? They don't always consider themselves investors that have properties that they could rent. Well, they need assistance, yes or no? One for pricing, etc. So what's happening is you are more and more a key element to that process of working and helping the investor purchase and then helping them do what? Rent. Why are rentals key? Rentals are key because if you start with someone at the rental process, right? You meet them, you could walk them through to become what? A property owner. And then you can walk them to become an investment owner. And then you could help them grow into the larger home, then into the condo, etc. So it is a step, an initiating step into the process. So we've added a 6th part to our MLS series. What does that mean? That when you ask us questions, number one, your trainers listen. So please always write to trainers@miamire.com. Talk to us, as many of you do when you do see us. Tell us what's going on. Text us. Why? Because we can provide, but we also need you to tell us what you would need. We have been working at this rental thing and expanding what we provide to you, especially during the pandemic. This course has grown. It used to be 30 minutes. Now I don't have enough time. And we added a 5th part. So it's exciting to be able to share these elements with you. To start, we're always going to start where everything with real estate is, myrarealtors.com. Okay. And we're going to come down and click on the gateway. So we aren't going to go right away into the MLS. I like for you to be set up and ready to go. So click in the gateway, put in your license and password, and we'll come to the gateway dashboard. Any of you have been around for 2+ years? So I consider you seasoned. You're not old, just seasoned in real estate. Anybody newer than 2 years? Anybody fresh off new member orientation? Right? Some of you I've seen. Well, then we'll have a couple coming up. More than 2 years. Thank you, Daisy and Rubio. What happens with that is, do you come back and take MLS classes? Yes. Once you take all of them and then you take them again and you feel you're all done, please feel free to come as many times as you would like. They are for free. They are for you. And it is your point of reference where you look for listings. Now, when you come into here, of course, I'm going to tell you to click onto Matrix, right? And we'll have Matrix open, but that's not where I want to start. I want you to come back into the home page and find your MLS page on the top. Do you see it? Click into it for me, okay? And we're going to start here because I want to show you some key elements for you to see. Thank you all for sharing. Brand new, 2+, etc. We're here together. This is a resource page. This afternoon, if you attend 501, I will review most of the items on this page. But this morning, we're going to scroll all the way down until we find the lower right-hand side and we find our input forms. There are several locations these input forms are found. They are in Form Simplicity under Miami Forms. They are in Dot Loop under the forms as well for Miami. They are inside the MLS in the help area, and they are here. Why so many locations? Because if you're at listing and you want to fill this out with your customer, you may, because they're available, right, in all of these locations. So if you started your listing agreement and you put it into your transaction management tool and you're with them and they're signing, you could open up your data input form for the MLS and open it up and use it. Now, I'm going to open up the first one, SEF RE1. I want to share with you some tips. So if you want to follow along, go ahead and do so. Click in a separate link. We came to miamirealtors.com, clicked on MLS. I had you open Matrix. We're on the MLS page, and I need you on the lower right-hand side to find the input forms, and we're going to click into here. No matter where you go, the input forms look like this. The red items are what? Required fields, which include information such as area, street numbers, street name, county, state, zip code. I hope I answered you, Daisy. Legal, zoning, subdivision, geo area, and more. And then there are some elements that if you look through are not required fields, maybe like building area source and building area. Did you see the for lease? Even though this is to put the listing as a house or townhouse or right for sale, there's also the lease yes, no. There's also the information here on furnished and additional furnished, year built exposure, parking, lot description, waterfront description, water access, boat service, full description, pool yes or no, the design, is it attached or detached, the construction type, flooring, and area for remarks. Right? You can also see bed, bath, bedroom description, additional rooms, ADA compliant, interior feature, pet descriptions, pets allowed, cable, equipment, window treatment, etc. So do you know to know everything, or do you need to know how to find these? Always know how to find. So what happens if a customer tells you, I would like a gated community? Where would I find that? Well, here's my tip. You open up these data input sheets, because when you go to search, do you know exactly where gated community is? Do you know where concrete slab is for the driveway? You may not, but you know where the input forms are, correct? Form simplicity, loop in the MLS help area, and here on the MLS page. So once you open the property type, right, because there's different ones, you can use Command F or Control F on your keyboard. Command F or Control F. That will open up this find bar. Do you see it? And here we could put gate. Gate appears 4 times. I like you to learn this because this will help you with any type of website search when you're looking for a keyword element. And here we see that the first one is under pool description under child gate. That's not what I need, but it's there. Cool, huh? If I click the up or down facing arrow or next, it'll take me to the next one where I see subdivision information, and guess what's there? Gated community. Great. And isn't that what we were looking for? So if I was doing a search in the MLS for single family homes and my customer wanted a gated community, I would need to make sure that I had added subdivision information. Now, do you want to see that process? Okay, let's click into Matrix. That's why I had you open it. Why am I showing you this? There are different property types. Do you need to know everything, or do you need to know where things are at? I mean, I'm never expecting you to be Google, though we all would love to be correct. But what I want you to know is how easily from anywhere you could find the forms. And then, do you know that you can do this on your mobile device? You can open miamirealtors.com, go to the MLS page on it, find where the input forms are, open it up. And on all of our phones currently, there's a way to find. And you could find a keyword. So you can do this from anywhere. Alrighty? So here, now that we're in the MLS, if you were searching for gated community, I would come and click search, the property type, I would select it. In this case, it was RE1, RE2. Click into it. And then I needed to make sure that I had subdivision information, correct? So I would have to come down to the additional fields and make sure I had it. How many of you remember how to add these fields? It's okay, I'll show you. Additional fields here. I'm going to click add and remove. You're not seeing this? Oh, it's not. Oh, wow. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I am cheating those that are supposed to be watching me.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, let me go back. Those were here in person. We were having a little lapse. Thanks. I'm glad you remember, Daisy. Yeah, these are things that need to become common. Why? They're always going to ask you for something additional or something different, and you could use the input forms to leverage your search. So I'm going to scroll down, add and remove, click here, and I already have it added, but I'm going to show you how. You would come to available fields, and from the input form, we knew it was subdivision information. So here under the search, instead of me having to scroll and look, I would come and put sub, and you see how it starts to pop up? Once I find it, I select it, wrong one, select it. And then what do? Add. Once I add it and it's on my selected fields area, I can organize it up, down, etc., how I would like, but this will always show up in my search. Of course, at other classes, I would have showed you the REO, the HOPA, the short sale, and then one of my favorites in the last couple of years, the association info. Why? Some people are looking for not to have an association or to pay less than a certain amount at the association. So you have those. And now you click back. And if I wanted to find a single family home, I'm just going to click active, only select active, come down, subdivision information, and we're going to scroll slowly to find what? Gated community. There are 767 active properties in the MLS at the moment that are in gated communities. If I wanted single family, I would have to do what? Single. And if I did that, there's 753. Okay. Now, if they were looking for a specific zip code, what would I do? Add the zip code to the area, or I could go to the map and search. Now, I always like to show you this. I'm going to come to the map, right? And I'm going to make it take me to Aventura because one of you is from Aventura. And we're going to look in this area. And I want you to see something. I'm going to switch my map to just a regular map. And I'm here in Aventura, right? And I'm just going to select an area. You see this here? Now, I want you to understand that in the input forms, under that subdivision information, there was about 30 options to select. And there was a maximum of 7. Is everybody going to select gated community? No. So I want you to leverage the knowledge you have. And if this is my area of interest, what would I do? I could come and draw freehand. And I hope you like this. I know I do. And let's say they're interested in this. Now, this doesn't always work out, but we'll see. Okay. I have 2, correct? So I've isolated this gated community, right? So I can come back to criteria, scroll down. Okay. Look for my subdivision. I'm going to click on it, Command or Control, remove it. Oh, I only have the 2. So everyone did select it. But I'm going to click it again. We're going to come to the map. We're going to do this again to see if I can show you an example. So there's one. And here's another one. And here's another one. So what I'm going to do is do a couple of drawings to see. So let me go ahead and click here. Okay. Let me draw again and select here. All righty. And let's see. Now I have all of these, correct? How do you unselect? All righty. You would come to criteria. And let's say I needed to remove the single. I'm going to select it because you click Command or Control. You click and then to deselect it, Command or Control and select it again. I hope I helped. If that's the only thing you learned today, that's fine. It's a key element. Now I'm going to come back in, right? And I'm going to come to gated and I'm going to remove. By doing what? Hitting Command or Control and selecting it. You see how I have 5 matches? Because someone did not select gated community as a part of the information they wanted. What I'm trying to teach you here is to use a little bit of your knowledge, right? And what you get from the system. And if you know the area is a part of a gated community, once you draw the area, then you may find more listings than not, just to remove it. I like for you to think out of the box. I hope this helps. What did we do? We're not entering a listing, but we leveraged the input form to obtain additional information. And then we did our search, but we used the map to do what? Find even more. Let's do this again. Okay, let's do it again. We're going to come back into the MLS page. Okay, MLS page, and we're going to look at another one. Let's do a rental. Okay, residential rental. So here we have residential information. What's a key element that you think people ask for? Pets allowed, right? So how do I, bedrooms, parking, right? If there's more than 2, etc. So how would you do this here? You would click find, and we could do parking. Parking appears 10 times. There's boat parking, guest parking, additional parking info, 1 space or 2 or more. So if the person is looking for a rental that has 2 or more spaces, I would need to add what to the search? Do you need help?
No, I'm okay.
You good?
Yeah, thank you.
This is about learning.
Okay.
Ask if you need. All right.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now, what I'm saying here is I would have to add additional parking to my search. Do you see how you leverage these? Again, you don't need to know all, you need to know where to go. And then it's okay to tell someone, you know what, let me get back to you. Let me get the information. Because sometimes we feel that we need to answer right away. And I rather give good information than none at all. So you say, give me a second, let me do a search. And then you start to do your thing. Parking, additional parking, very good. So here we have additional parking. We're going to come into Matrix, to the top, do a search, residential rental. We're going to come down, come to add and remove, or add if you've never added anything. And we'll search additional. Oh, I don't see it here. Let's try parking. There's descriptions and restrictions. Let me go back into here. Let's go back. And I'm going to search the page. Find. And we'll do additional. It's only 1. Let's do parking. Spaces. So number of parking. Let's see. And what's the other one? Security info. So that additional isn't here. And here we all learn together. All right. Let's come to add and remove, and let me see what comes up with parking. And let's add these 2. I select both. Add. They're all the way at the end. So I'm going to click on both and move them up. Now we'll leave them there. I'm going to click the back button and we'll come down and peek and see what they say. So parking, no motorcycle, 2 spaces. We're going to have to ask them why those haven't been updated. But we're going to leave it here at 2 spaces under parking description. And if I come up, There are 550 matches that have 2+ parking. Now I'm going to just put active 454. And now let's have some fun. Let's put 2+ bedrooms, right? 2+ baths. And then one of you up here said, let me see, because we did have Ventura. And I can't put South Broward. Thank you, Miss Coral Springs. You're from downtown. Well, let's put Miramar. We're selecting Miramar. And in this case, there are 6 matches. We're going to go to the map. And here we have our 6 matches in Miramar. Right? Zoom in, zoom out, see them. Move the map. Here we have a 3-bedroom, 2 baths. Okay. 3-bedroom, 2 baths, 3,000. 3-bedroom, 3 bath, 3,000. 2,250. Let's look at another one. 4,950.
When I put your information, 2+ staff, 2+ bedroom, and the city, did you put anything else?
I only left active on the top. Okay. I put 2+2+, Miramar. And then I scroll down and remember that I had added that part.
Marta, I'm sorry to interrupt you. So I'm so sorry, Isis from Coconut Creek. I just got lost because I have hard time to
I couldn't hear
connect.
the end.
So where you, I'm sorry?
Isis?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, it's me. Hi. I took your class, but I lost the beginning because it's to go
I
in.
had put something else.
But my
So
question
there's
for you is
actually
how you
25.
can get the
How I can get the what? I'm sorry?
how you can get the input at the beginning?
The
Where
what?
you go? The input.
Okay. We came to the MLS page. You come to MiamiRealtors.com. You click MLS. And then all the way on the lower right-hand side, you're
Oh,
gonna
I got
see
you.
the-
Oh, got you. Okay, thank you so much.
But
Sorry.
those are-
Thank you,
those
guys.
are-
I'm sorry.
Those are not the only places. Anybody else care to share where they are as well? In the MLS under help, right? Inform Simplicity and Dot Loop. And we also share with transactions.
Yeah, on the contract.
Yes.
Okay, I know where they are. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, what I was doing here was teaching you how to leverage the input.
After the Miramar, where did you go?
Actually,
Okay.
I came and I had added here. I added the parking, but I had mistakenly clicked RV. And when I put 2 spaces, I actually have 25 matches. Okay.
No, I don't know where did you go with I'll read the parking. Oh, I see it now. Okay, so you did.
I added in the search parking description and I put 2 spaces. Did you add and remove the
I just did the parking description. That's all I did.
okay, but you have to select their 2 spaces. You see it here?
Yes.
Parking description, and I clicked on 2 spaces. So you see it? I click.
That is all right. And then you have 29 matches.
I have 25 because I put 2+2+ and just active. Just Miramar. I'm going to chalk it up to just it having an issue because this isn't the only thing I need to show you. Don't worry. At least you were in the number. What I do want you to understand is you see how you can find stuff? There's so many ways. So now let's go into, you have a listing. What do you do? How many of you are future listing agents, will be listing agents, are listing agents? Everybody should say what? Yes. You need to say it. Yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm the best teacher. That's not true. I love Robert and Christy. Everybody brings their certain something to the class, right? So it's whomever fits you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I have to wake up in the morning and say, yes, listing tomorrow. That's what I say the best. So we're going to come to the very top here. And we're going to talk about these listings. If you don't have one, that's fine. What do I want you to do? See, because I have a sample one. Okay. I'm going to come back into the main page here and we're going to talk about the add edit process. So those input forms are the beginning. You get a listing agreement, you fill it out, you use the input form. And I'm going to ask you, how many of you would go just slightly nervous to a listing presentation? And if you don't, it's not natural because it's still kind of, you get a little antsy even when you're seasoned. So of course you are. And then you can come into the gateway and there is an add edit button right here. But if you're in the MLS already, it's right up here at edit. I like to show you both options because sometimes we like to see things first. If I click in here, does everyone have rights to add edit? No. Your brokerage, the brokerage decides if you need to turn in the paperwork and somebody adds it, or if you come in and add it and submit it, or if you come in, add it and make it active. It's the brokerage that decides. But what I want you to see is the steps and how they coincide with the input forms. We're going to come into add edit and we're going to do an add new, click in it. And here, I want you to notice something. If I hover over search, RE1, RE2, which is single family, condo, townhouse, villa, are all what? Grouped together. But when I go to look at the add edit, they are separate. The same thing happens when I search commercial, industrial, that's lease or buying or whatever. But when I go to add it, they're separate. Okay? You see, sale or lease? I wanted you to see that because when this shift came, a couple of people would make innocent mistakes and click single family thinking that was everything when they were inputting a townhouse or a condo. They're separate. The next thing, I'm going to click on one, right? I'm going to select the single family. It's going to tell you add a new cross property listing. Let me go back a step here. I want a single family, not a cross property. You must use the tax auto pop to enter square footage fields. That would mean that you would have to fill something here and select a county to bring in the square footage that's in the tax service, along with municipality and a whole bunch of other codes. What happens if your listing is out of area? We cover Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Martin, and San Lucie County. Do you remember that we had maps that showed you out of area? So if you had an out of area listing, you would click here, okay? You would select the active and you would put in your own location information. And your Miami-Dade County could be switched to any of the other counties, right? Or you could come into here and put outside of Florida, right? And then in the area, you could select US, not Florida, or global. Why am I showing you this? If your broker permits, you can put listings here outside of our coverage area of Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Martin, and San Lucie County. Who has to give permission? The broker. But you can input it, okay? Next, I'm going to come again to add edit. That was that scenario. I'm going to come to add edit and we're going to add a local one. Add new. Please, if you're following along, do not click enter at the end. We're using a real property. This is simulating in the live database. If you're following along, I have no issue. Just don't click enter at the end. All right, we're going to click. It's happened. And I always use one property because it doesn't matter because I know. But one time somebody did click enter and I had an immediate call Oh my gosh, the property is listed for 5 million. Oh, my parents didn't list the property. It's my aunt and uncle's property. And my cousin is on an auto email. He's like, I can't believe this thing. So yes, don't do it. Okay, I'm gonna do what? You would first come and select what? The county. If you know the property ID or folio number, you could enter it. If you know the street number, you could enter. You could enter a portion of everything. You could even put the person's first name and last name. But guess what I'm gonna do? 3369, because we always know the address, correct? And let's say this was Southwest 29 Terrace. 29. Nothing else. Why am I using this as an example? There are some of us and many locations here in South Florida that do not have like 3327, Andalusia. A lot of the properties here start 3369 Southwest 29 Terrace, where the property number and the street are both numbers. So you could put them in, even though it's a street name. And then to search the property, you click search. What that does, it will give you a list of the properties. This time it's only one that fit that description. Why do I say a list? If you're working in a building and you didn't put the unit number, it'll give you all the units and you can select the unit. Okay. Now I have this here. You confirm that this is a correct address. And then what do? Since you want to auto-populate from the IMAP tax service, you click what? Fill. And that will automatically fill some info. But then you have to decide if this is an active listing that will be immediately active or if it's a coming soon. The coming soon listings means that the person is giving themselves up to 21 days to prepare the property. They're join a listing agreement with you, but they're finishing a bathroom, finishing a roof, redoing the kitchen, and but they still want to list with you. And here is a coming soon authorization form. You have to submit this to the MLS. If you needed to, you could click, here's the coming soon, where you and the customer, because it requires what? Owner's initials, right? Are in agreement that this listing will be listed more than 21 days out, no more, and other additional items. So coming back to Matrix, that's the form that you would submit. If it's active now, you don't have to fill anything. But if it's coming soon, you could click the calendar and select the coming soon date. That's the date that it's going to be live in the MLS, no more than 21 days from you entering it. Okay? Next, we're going to go to location information. We're going to tab over. And this is where it starts to look like the input sheet. Now, in Miami-Dade County, the folio number is very telling. The first two numbers are the municipality code. So 1. The second two set of digits are what? The area number. And then you have 16 as the section, 18 as the subdivision, and then the parcel number. Only for Miami-Dade. For Broward, they're a little inside. They're sometimes in the legal description, etc. Next, notice how the yellow areas are filled, but I have some key elements that are not. If I know the information, I do what? Yes, you start putting it in. So I'm going to select here Coral, right? Coral Gables Senior High. I believe the middle school is Ponce, right? And then I can start doing what I need. Global localization, you can come here. I always tell people when you're doing global localization to go onto Google Maps, find the property, and you can get the latitude and longitude. And you would put information here. You would not have a folio number. You can call the MLS, but you can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 6, 7 until you fill it. Okay, we will help you. You would put in the address for Brazil here. You would not have a state, but you would put localization. You could put some division name. Okay, I hope I'm answering. Now, how do I know if I filled all required fields? Do you see the validate button? I would click to validate and it'll tell me I'm done here. Did you see that there's no exclamation point? So ISIS, you would know if you've put enough in because the localization field would not show an exclamation. Why do I teach you this validate? Because there's nothing better than knowing that we've completed it, correct? Now to go to the next part, what do? Click on to general info. And here I have all the items that are required for me to fill. Do you like? It's just like the input forms. Tab over, tab over, tab over till you're complete. So I'm going to try to do this with you. I'm going to put short sale no, REO no. What's short sale? A process pre-foreclosure. And then REO is already bank owned. Very good. List price, you have to put it in. Or foreclosure. It is required. The style of the property. Okay. The square footage, since we brought it in from the tax service. Do you see it's here? Is it for lease, yes or no? And then what happens if the person has done upgrades on the home and they're not reflected in the tax service? So let's say that the square footage is really 2,500. And where's the source from? You can select appraisal, architect, engineer, building planner, developer, or owner. You like that? Many homes happen that go out a bedroom, a bathroom, etc. The tax service has yet to reflect the change, even though it was done with approval, and you can put in the info here. The type of property, the front exposure, right? Your build description. HOPA, what's HOPA? Housing Older Person Act. Garage spaces, right? Carport spaces, let's put 0, furnished, unfurnished. Why am I adding also the ones that are not required? The more in detail I give, the easier I'm making it for the other person to do what? Find what they're looking for. All right, I can come in then and put the type of driveway. Now, a couple of years back, I was in class and someone said, my customer does not want pavers. They want concrete slab. Then you would mark it. You have 3 options here. Parking restrictions, if any, type of description for the property. Is it waterfront, yes or no? And then if it is waterfront, the type of description, water access, the view, even none, ocean, direct, other, pool area, river, boat service, water frontage, pool, yes or no? And if there is a pool, is it above ground, automated chlorination, etc.? The dimensions, and if there's a spa. Design, is it attached or detached? The type of construction. Design, is this design important? How many people are looking for a 1-story home? Any of you 50 plus or approaching? Some of you are not even close. I am. Do the knees start to hurt? I'm no joke. And there's an issue with mobile. Sometimes it comes early. But a lot of people will tell you, how many of you heard, I have kids, I only want 1 floor. I don't want to have to deal with a stick. So here's a way for you to see it. The type of flooring. You can pick up to 4. Anybody remember terrazzo floors? In Spanish, we will call them granito. What is the granite floor is always what the terrazzo, it's always cold and it helps cool the property. Many people will cover it with carpet and wood and stuff, and then they start removing and they find this floor. And now it's expensive to put in because it's back in chic. Okay, now am I ready to go? Validate. I'm not done with general. It's missing something. Carport spaces. Let's validate again. All done. Did you see how that helps? You can verify that you put everything that was required. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Remarks. The remarks, the only one that's required is the internet. Where would you put information on bonus or what to do as far as whether you need a Supra key, etc. So showing info. Never in remarks. Where would you put it? Broker remarks. Very good. So we're going to come into here and I'm going to show you something you could put. If you're ever wondering if your words choice are appropriate, you could visit miamirealtors.com, click on global, or search for fair housing. We have a set of listed vocabulary words that are appropriate, for fair housing. Like, is it nearby, close to, a whole bunch of items. So if in doubt, you can look at those. Here, I'm going to show you. Home, global, not global, advocacy, I'm sorry. And then you can come into here, scroll down. Housing affiliates, FHA. Oh, I don't see it. I know where it is. If you come to the MLS page, here it is. You see fair housing? You can click in here and there's tips, the newsletter, fair housing guidelines. There's some for Miami-Dade and Broward. And if you click here on fair housing, I'll share it in the link. Here's the Fair Housing Institute advertisement, a whole video for you to watch, right? Let me refresh. Okay, got it. I don't mind that it uses cookies. But what I wanted you to see is, here's the download. You want me to share that? The fair housing, all you have to do is come to the MLS, and here are the words. Acceptable, unacceptable. So if you're looking to do your description, seniors, retirees, senior citizen housing, for equal housing opportunity, family room, nice, near mass transit. So this one is right next to Douglas Metro Rail. So I would put near mass transit, correct? That's appropriate. Do you see why this is a good list to have? Again, it was under the MLS page, fair housing. That brought me here. I went to have fair housing advertisement, which took me here. And these are the words and phrases. I hope these things help. To me, they're just a key element to make sure. If you know what to do, any of you still print stuff? This is one of those things that you could print and have handy, or know where it is, so when you're writing it, you would use it. So I'm back here in the MLS, and I'm going to put near mass transit, right? Douglas Metro Rail Station, right? And then it has internet remarks. And I have directions. So I can put here, turn on 32nd Avenue and find 29 Terrace and near the Metro Rail, find this. Okay, and then I could come in and put internet remarks.
Connie?
Yes.
Quick question with the directions. Can you, at this point with technology, can you copy and paste a link from Waze or one of the navigation systems?
You could, but this is meant to be written description.
Okay.
This is meant to be like what you could copy from there. If you will go to MapQuest, right? Or Google Maps, they'll give you the written directions to get there, because anybody can go on their device and put the address. This is to give a notion to someone who needed directions to the location. It's a very good question.
Understood.
I'm going to ask it, and depending on when they tell me, I'll post on Instagram and Facebook, okay? but that I know of, these are the written directions, like take this street, go here, you do this. I mean, I could even put, if you're coming on Metro Rail, get off on Douglas Park. Does that make sense? It's the step-by-step to getting there. While if you gave a link, I don't know that that would always work. I also have an issue with a link. How many of you have ever found that when you're going to a new construction, it'll send you to the wrong place? So this is to avoid that. This is to make sure that the person gets there. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. And the only reason I'm saying is that I have a couple of friends that have moved into newer homes. And when you try to put it into one of the systems, it won't recognize it because it's not part of the maps yet. And it'll take you to the wrong place. Got it? All
But
right.
it's so much fun when you send somebody to the wrong address.
It would be so much fun, but then how can you show?
I'm teasing. Sorry. Forgive me.
No, that's part of the class. You don't know how happy I am you're speaking. We're all smiling here. You just don't see us. All 5 of us. Please participate. And then we're going to click validate here. Okay. And we're going to come to rooms. Now, I have a pet peeve about the room. Mine, not necessarily yours, right? Yeah, Adrian, that's really good. You providing that information. That's why I provided a link to a fair housing so you can see what's appropriate. I in the internet remarks where I was before, I always like looking at what's on here, and I'm gonna ask you, as a consumer, do you go onto the internet and put, modern urban oasis? Or do you put when you're searching, I need 3 bedrooms, 2 bathroom, close to, what do you put? Always put yourself as the consumer. What would you put? 3 bedroom, 2 bath, right? No one puts modern urban oasis in the heart of, no, it's not. Because when you go to Google and Bing or type on your phone, I always tell people, don't leave your realtor marketing hat on. Take it off 1 second and act like the person searching. You all consume, all of us are dressed and we have clothes and shoes, and right? So you know how you search for stuff. Think of how the person would be searching. That's why I put 4 bedroom, 4 bathroom. My pet peeve here is there's a maximum of 4 here, but there's like master on the ground level. That's been a hot topic lately. I talked to you about that first floor, but if they don't have a first floor, they might be looking for something on the first floor. Does that make sense? So even if you had a townhouse or a single family home that was 2 stories, maybe what they're looking for is, I don't know, not to have in-laws quarters or a place, but to have a place with a bathroom. Does that make sense? Okay, so describe it. The additional room, what is it? If the master bedroom has stuff, describe it. Does it have a bidet? Does it have 2 master bathrooms? Does it have, what does it have? Because people are looking for those features. It can be simple to you. It can be a big deal for the other person. Think of what I told you about the concrete slab. The person that came to class asked me, everybody wants pavers because they look what? Slightly better if they're new. But what happens is if you're in a wheelchair or you're limping, are the pavers great for you? No, or you're using one. So you see, beauty's in the eye of what? The beholder. Put what's there. Now, here, what I like to explain to you is I'm going to come and just select one. There's a whole bunch of info, right? But I'm going to scroll down to here. There's dining description. This is a big deal because if you have a little breakfast nook or an area to eat, does that mean you're dirtying the whole dining room or you're just using the kitchen to see? So there's practicality. If there's ADA compliance, go ahead and put it in. But I like this one. I'm going to put in here, family room. Okay. More. What are you doing here? If you add dimensions, they're going to get a notion of what? Of the size. So if you have them, add them. Office remarks are for internal office items, and supplemental remarks are used when the property description is provided. Palm Beach many times provides the historical reference to the property. So when it was broken into a parcelization, etc. So they're used to that. So that's why we have supplemental remarks. Good questions, Adrian. I'm gonna come here and click validate, and we're done with the rooms. I just wanted you to make sure that you provide what you have available. Okay. Next, under additional information, here you may not have them required, but the pets and cable, are they a big deal? People are looking for that. So once you put yes, there's also a description. Okay. And then cable available, yes or no. Interior features. Right, you can pick from custom mirrors, elevator, etc. What would you like me to repeat, Adrian? I'm not sure. Office remarks are for internal office information. Supplemental remarks are used to describe property additionally and are very popular in Palm Beach, where they give historical reference to how the property was broken down, a parcelation was created, when it was done, etc. And that's why you have so much space there. Okay. Hope you heard it now. Next, you have interior features, right? So what else? You can choose up to 7. Equipment. I always like to look in here and say, you know, dryer, dishwasher, gas tank leased, gas water heater, washer dryer hookup, ice maker, microwave. So you can pick up to 14. And this is describing appliances, etc. Washer. If there's solar water heating, window treatments. Anybody remember jealousy windows? Am I dated myself? Jealousy windows would open and there were glass and you would just push them out. There was a whole bunch of like little pieces to it. It was used to be the second door of the house or the back door. So the house would have it. Most of those windows have been changed, and then for other purposes started to put this netting in front, and it wasn't great for hurricane. But they were very common. They were the ones that had like, you would have one little piece and it would have like 20 or 30 of them coming down. Some of them have it on the bottom of the house. They would use air to come in and out. It was on the bottom, but there were a lot of panes of glass. It just wasn't great, you know, for burglary or hurricane, etc. So they've gone away, but they exist. Okay. Yeah, they're probably not the best with keeping it AC. All right. And the whole idea of those, including plantation shutters and any type of shutter, was before people didn't always have AC. So they would do what? Ventilate. And so it allow you to open while still keep a screen and let water run through the house. Some people are looking for it. They're a South Florida staple. You will find them. So it's just cool to learn the terms. I always like to see. But here, what I'm looking at is, notice that they have arch windows and bay windows. So you could describe a living. It's not required, but you can put it in. There's guest house information, exterior info. So if there's a barbecue, a deck, right? Fruit trees. Sure.
In the contract now, they made some changes in the new one, which the window treatment, everything is over there like.
I don't deal with contracts, so no idea. Do you have to specify if they're included or not?
That's the thing, it's included like the.
Look, I'll agree to anything. I remember a personal home sale that I was a part of, where the window treatments, the windows where there's arched, very large ones. So they were from the first to the second floor, because that was a very big open area. And the lady in the house, someone asked, are the window treatments, so the curtains, you know, they were special made for, are they included? And the homeowner said, those are going to be my future wedding dress. They were having a separation. So I'm sure that that might have something to do with it where you have to list. So you'd have to, with regards to contracts, I'm not allowed to speak, but go ahead and ask your broker or the Florida legal hotline for that. Okay, good questions. You have the interior features, the equipment, window treatments, exterior features such as fruit trees, greenhouse, balcony. Now, is a balcony a big deal? Yes, if you have an apartment, wouldn't you want a balcony, a porch, right? A sunroof, a satellite dish, subdivision information. And I like to scroll down here. You could only pick 3. And remember that this was where the gated was a part of. That's why maybe it isn't always selected. You have 30 items, including exercise room, community pool, clubhouse, gas meter, laundry facilities, paved area, picnic area. So there's so much to choose from and only 3 permitted. Maintenance includes, this is important, if there's a maintenance fee separate from an association fee, you would put into here what's included. Heating description, sprinkler description, cooling description, water description, sewer, roof. I think it's the form. I believe we mostly have central air. We would have to look it up. Oh, what's the difference between normal AC and central? Well, you see, an electric AC system only uses electricity. So you could probably use the description to both. And then, so that goes into the split AC or the little wall units, etc. Okay. I don't know all. All right. Restrictions. And here I like to show you, and there's a big one. Okay to lease or okay to lease with restrictions. Why is this important? Investors are looking for that one. Because look, there's even one that says, see broker, other, no restrictions, no lease, first year owned. I'm sure that an investor that's not going to live the property doesn't want one. That one. So that these are important here to select. Okay. And notice association approval required, right? Equestrian features, if there are any. Storm protection. This is not required. How important is that? Okay, you can select. There's high impact door, clear impact glass. So depending on what you have, the accordion ones that were that they built after the fact. In Miami-Dade County, the ordinance to change was in 1996 or and there have been changes since then. Okay, so be mindful of that. Okay. And then any green energy efficient, and we click to validate. Not that I know of, Adrian, is not a way around adding more info to the broker remarks. You could substitute or see, I'm not sure exactly what you're putting into there, but you could ask your broker if there's things that you could move to other locations. I wouldn't add any links as such into that area. Now we're going to come to finance and office info. And here are the terms considered a maximum of 4. So what's the difference between cash only and all cash? Cash only means only cash is accepted. All cash means that you could pay me cash. You could pay cash if you want, right?
A whole bag.
Not a whole bag. Run through the banks, but
Also, should also determine the way that you can pay today Bitcoin and stuff like
No,
that?
there's Bitcoin here. We'll rent cryptocurrency.
Oh,
The all cash means I have the $500,000 in my bank account and I can pay you tomorrow in a week. While the process of conventional or any other takes a series of time, yes or no? And so people, I just want you to know the difference of both. All cash means that you accept cash payment. And all cash only means the person wants only to be paid in cash. And it has to do with a time constraint sometimes. Okay. That if the cash is already available, it just might take, how long it takes to transfer the property. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
so you can actually put both of them together.
Cash only is cash only. It's not the same as all cash. That's why I explained it. Cash only means that's the only thing I'm accepting. You would only select that one. Got it? While the other one, the all cash, conventional, FHA, etc., means I'm accepting all these types of payment up to 4. It's to be specific. Because if it's an all cash deal, they may be wanting to do this what? Quickly. I see it as a time issue. Got it? Okay. Lucia, we were all wondering here too, don't worry. So I was glad to repeat. Type of association. Super important. You're supposed to do what? Disclose, 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 disclose. So non-homeowner, condo, etc. And if you pick condo and homeowner, you must put the fee and then what the pay period is for. Notice that is membership required, yes or no? I'm going to put none here, no. And then the type of possession is usually whatever the brokerage tells you to put there. I'm selecting one so we can move on. Are there any special instructions? What's the tax amount? What's the tax year? What does it reflect, right? Owner, agent. Isn't that one about disclose, disclose, disclose? If the property is yours, say it. You would put here what? Now, what happens if you know the homeowner or you're part of you would still have to put it, if not here, at least under broker remarks, correct? You should always disclose. And for more details like that, legal hotline, broker, always ask. Okay. Agent info. What if you have a co-agent? You can click and find. Okay, click and find. Alrighty. Your preferred contact phone number. And here is a 101, something before stay out of trouble. If you put something and you tell them in the remarks to call you, that means that you have to do what? Answer. And if not, be kind enough and text back or write back. I'll call you in a few, etc. How many of you have your phone next to you right now? I'm sharing with you. I'm trying to show you. Where's it's right here. You mean to tell me that when you got up and I have mine on mute. But what happens the minute class is over? I look. Did my family call? Did you tell me you don't look? This is your business. Now, why do I put this? I don't want you calling my office number. What does it say here? Preferred contact phone. For those of you that are interested, that's my phone number. So it's actually right here written on there's no like not this. And I'm the first one that's going to tell you, and I would probably write that in the broker remarks. Do not call, text. Why? What do I do for a living? Teach. So it's not that I don't want to answer. It's just that it's probably not conducive. If you call, I'm not going to. But if you text me, I cannot avoid it. Does that make sense? So you can put it in. You can put in what your preference is. Okay?
If you put your phone number in the office phone.
You do? You guys do. I don't. Remember, I work for the association, so this is the office phone
Can I
here.
put my phone number? No, I have. to
That's
put-
why I put preferred contact number, and you put your number here. That's why this is telling the person that this is where I want you to contact me. And that's something that you can put in broker remarks. Contact me to the preferred number or at, okay? But then that means that you have to do what? Answer, respond at some point. And that is a big no-no. Not answering is a violation. Okay? We'll talk about it in 501 if you come back. Compensation. Internet, yes or no? Your choice. You discuss that with your broker and your customer. AVM, this is automated valuation model. This is like a price comparison if you want it to exist, yes or no. And the choice is yours. Blogging. Now, I want to talk to you guys about blogging and internet. If you are doing okay to advertise, or if it's on the IDX, it can be shared, but this would be for allow it to blog. Now, if you're listing it, you probably want it to go to as many places as it possibly could, yes or no? Because what you're trying to do is get it what? Sold. Now, address on the internet is different. Let's say that you took pictures and there's valuable pieces of art, or the person is semi-famous, infamous, famous, you know, and they've shown the home before, so they don't want people to associate the home with them and have the address. You discuss that with your customer and you choose appropriately. Got it? Now, listing type. Most of you are what? Who do you discuss that with? Broker, rules on what you're doing. List date. Today. Or whenever it is. And then compensation. You cannot put 0 in compensation, okay? A lot of people do this. You find out from who? The broker. Also has to do with what? Contract. Yes or no? Okay. Variable dual rate. I discuss that a little more later, but this depends on the same brokerage selling the property and then an agreement with the customer if there's any. Expiration date, you can click the little calendar and you can move forward here 6 months from now. And let's say that that would be January and today's the 25th. Let's say it would be the 24th. It depends on what your contract says. That's what you would put into here. Showing instructions. I want to scroll all the way down because you can see virtual showing, showing assist, see broker remarks, pet on premises. Why would you put that? How many of you have seen small, tiny dogs that are more vicious than a 100-pound, whatever? Why would you notify of that? They have to be careful when they open and close the door. What if the pet can come in or out? You would mark it, right? Notify guard, no sign, etc. You can select lockbox call, lockbox no appointment required, lockbox call listing agent, key in listing office, gate code, anything else that's required you would put here, okay? All right, up to 3. Okay to advertise. Who needs to first choose this? The brokerage. If the brokerage has chosen, then you can come and select. What is with written broker approval? That they must submit for broker approval. And what's no? No. And the 2 yeses, attribution required means that you must mention courtesy of or must mention the brokerage in the smallest size font used in the advertisement. And not required means that you do not need to mention. Do we offer an okay to advertise class? Yes, we do. And should you know how to do this? Yes, you should, because we offer what? Different ways for you to be able to share directly from here onto social media, to do posts and flyers that will keep you within the rules. But where does this stem from? the brokerage. The brokerage must want to. And then every listing agent will then choose what they deem and what they've discussed with their broker. Okay? Okay. And then if you have a website, this is unbranded. You cannot put a URL here that has your info. This is unbranded info. Now, ImmoViewer will create what? Automatically using the first 15 photos will create a tour. And then you have any virtual tour, but that also has to be what? Unbranded. You could put a link. And then photo instructions. At the association, we have a preferred photography program that will allow you to select this so the preferred photographer can come in and do what? Add the photos for you. Or if you're putting them yourself, realtor, I'm not going to submit, but I want you to see, oops, I'm missing something here. Let's see. Occupancy, vacant, etc. But you can see here that I can validate. Of course, I'm not going to submit because this is a real property in the real MLS. But you saw how we went step by step. It's easy. You fill out the form. You can come in and fill this out. It'll tell you what's expected, what's not, etc. Now, what happens when you have a listing? If it's incomplete, you will always be able to come back because when you click that submit, it'll give you a number. But you can always come back here and find where you see the listing area. Do you see? Right? Now, if you had incomplete, you would see them here. Listings with no photos here. And then to edit them, what would you do? Now, I don't have an active listing or anything there, but I have a firm one. And I'm going to show you that one. I'm going to click in to be able to show you. Once you click and find your listing, you do what? You can select it and you can come back to edit. What if you needed to change something in the original input area? You would click edit, click the property type, and it'll take you right back to the add edit wizard. Okay? Now I'm going to come back. I'm going to click the logo again, come back to the main page, come to listings and select my firm again because I'm showing you like if it was my listing. Manage photos. I could click into here to do what? Browse and add photos. Upload photos at least 1600 to 1200 pixels in size. Once I add my photos, I can move them around and I can describe them. Should I describe them? Yes. Why? It should be like walking them through. So I could click on the little area here and on the bottom, put in a description. Why would I do that? How many times do you see a bedroom and you don't know if it's the master or the bathroom? You don't know if it's the master, the walk-in closet. So describe it, master bedroom, bedroom number 2, bedroom number 3, hall closet. Does that make sense? It takes 2 more seconds and you're doing what? Providing a view, like a review of the property. The first photo should be of what? What they're driving to, the property, not the sign, right? Not welcome to Connieville. It should be the property, okay? You can add how many? 99 plus.
I missed the way that you got to the.
I got here.
I did that.
You have to have a listing to see this.
I have a listing.
Okay, so you would select your active, but I'm coming to firm. You don't have it anywhere on your homepage? No, I'm not in there. I'm on the main page. And you don't see favorites or market watch or anything? Click on the logo. You don't see this at all. Are you in Matrix? What do you see? I didn't say the type, Adrian. I just selected one. You would discuss that with your broker. You need to find my listings and open it up. Scroll down. My listings. Just have it at the bottom. Okay. Yeah. Remember that the home page Look here. And this happens to me all the time. You see how I have favorites first? That's because I teach okay to advertise. And I teach you guys to make your own favorite churches. But you could select any of the widgets and drag them where you need it. Select any of the widgets, drag it where you need it. Okay? So you can make it whatever it is that you need. All right. So I have mine,
So where do I go? I go to my list.
my active, right? And I'm going to click here on my firm to be able to show you. I'm going to select, and I was in manage photos. The next thing I'm going to talk about is manage attachments. An attachment, what could that be? An addendum to contract, amendment, application, appraisal, article of incorporation, as is, brochure feature, budget summary, bylaws coming soon, condo association docs, counteroffer disclosure, dues, financials, floor site plan, homeowner association, lead-based paint, offer guidelines, other confidential, rules and regs, seller disclosures, and survey. So we can add whatever we like to that area. What would you do here? Select what it is. Let's say it's the application, right? And then you would choose the file and find it on your computer. Now, of course, when I come to my desktop a second, let's see if I have anything or in downloads. I'd like it to be a PDF, so bear with me. We'll use this one. And we'll say that this is the application what? HOA application, correct? And we do what? Upload it. I picked the wrong form. Has that ever happened to you? I always do. I always click on the wrong thing. What do you need to do? Select it and do what? Well, I can actually move it up if I want to, or move it down in the order I like it to appear. But then I've selected it and it's the wrong thing. I need to delete it. Select, delete. Okay. So you can add all of those items, choose to upload it, correct it, organize it, and then remove it if you need to, and then click save. The next thing you can do, I want to share my listing. Click share, and it will automatically provide you with a link that you can copy and do what? Paste it to social media, put it as part of your email signature, etc. Reverse prospect. Do you know what that is? How many of you have heard B2B marketing? B2B marketing. Business to business. So it would be to other realtors like you that have shared it. So you would do what? Select and run the reverse prospecting report. It will provide you with a list of agents, the number of listings they sent with yours, the date they sent it, the email address for the agent, the office for the agent, and the phone number, allowing you to do what? Market your listings to agents like you. Reverse prospecting. Coming back, okay? We can also do what? Print your listing. I'm going to go do a showing. I'm going to do an open house. I can come and print and select. Let's say I want to do a client 8, a client full, and I can do a print preview. And this is what I would be preparing. Okay. 8 photos, listing information. Right. Coming back to Matrix. Connie, I need to change the status of my listing. Active with contract, rented, sold, etc. Main page is the easiest way for me. Find it. You would be under active. Mine is where, because I'm teaching you. And select it. And I would click edit again. Here in this edit, I can choose the status change. You see it? So if I'm going to mark it as sold, now I'm not going to do that, but I want you to see it. You see the same way that when we were entering it, we have these items in yellow that are the required fields. So I would have to come into here and put close date, expected close date, even if it was all the same, pending date, intended use. And here I ask you about data collection and I ask you about statistics. How many of you love statistics and need the data collection? This is part of why this is so important. Is it an investment, a primary, a secondary, or unknown? By our country of origin, even if it's the USA or unknown withheld or other or one of them on the list, what should you do? Select it. So let's say it was the USA. Then I need what? Why do we want that? Those of you on Zoom, why would you want that? See where our buyers are coming from. So whether it was from another country, locally, because you could select here, USA, right? Put Florida, the buyer zip code, and maybe they're buying this property in downtown. So we would see the influx of movement of people within. But what if they were coming from another state? We want to know that. We're always monitoring that, aren't we? Yeah. What are we as a state? A tax what? So we're a haven, right? So a lot of people are fluctuating here because there's no additional state tax. Yes or no? Okay. So we capture that. Okay. The count is the number, Adrian, that you're seeing next to it. That's the number of properties sent with the search to the customer. Alrighty. Now we have sell price per square foot unit. If what's the sold financing type, furnished information, sold price, seller contribution, if yes or no, and the contribution amount. And then very important, if you are the listing agent and you are working with another agent, are you the seller agent? No. This is a huge violation, and people make this mistake thinking, oh, I listed it, I sold it. No, you didn't. You were the listing agent. If you're working with someone else, they sold it. They should get credit here. Again, how do you find it? Find selling agent. Let me make sure I'm sharing it so everyone can see. And you would search. Let me come into here and put someone's name so we can just see how you can do it. And you would just fill. Okay, in the case where it's your listing and you also brought the person buying, you're the seller's agent. But if you're working with somebody else, the other person is the seller, even if it's a rental. It's your listing. I sold it. My name would go here. My listing, you sold it, your info would go here. Got it? I'm working alone. No one else was part of the prop. Your information will go here, your own. Do you see the difference? Okay, don't make that mistake because it affects both of you. You'll get credit for your listing, but the other person deserves credit for what? The rental or the sale. Got it? Okay. And then if there's a co-listing agent, there could be, you could put it in. And then of course, I'm not going to do it, but what would you put here? Submit. Okay. So we've gone through all of the processes. I'm going to go ahead and show Adrian one more time. I do want to show you that you have an open house here. And this is a big important item. Open houses. You can list them here. You can choose from broker open, virtual broker, public, virtual public. If you select the broker ones, they're listed for agents and brokers to see. But if you select any of the public, they go onto a website called South Florida openhousesearch.com. Did you know that? So if it's your listing, you can come in and add it. It takes 24 hours to process and then be there. So if you're having an open house this Saturday, you should have really already put it in the system. But if not, you need to put it today to give it ample time to be there. And then for people to do what? See it. Okay, because it is Monday. You're talking about a Saturday open house. I would have already put it. Next, you can put in here, I'm going to show you here, the time, the date, the time, the description, right? If there's a live streamer URL. Okay, and then you would click more and add it. Why do you want that? Because it goes into a website called South Florida openhousesearch.com, where consumers can see it. It's your listing. You're doing an open house. You want everybody to know, correct? What's nice about this is you can look, I'm going to put Doral to view. Here are properties that have open houses in Doral coming up. You see, this one's their 31st. It's already in August 6th. And then you as the listing agent want it here, but you also want it here because you can click. Look, Antonieta doesn't have her picture. But you could actually, if you put it in, you would be able to share it here to social media. You would be able to do what? Create a flyer. While that's thinking, right? Here's the flyer PDF. And this is a consumer-facing site shared with local agencies. And you have here the photos, the price, the location, the date, the beds and bath, what type it is. They can contact the listing agent, a property description, details, address and location, houses for sale in the area. So don't you find this great? You can share it to social media and create your flyer from here. That's why that first picture is what? Very important. Now,
question.
with that said, sure.
What do you suggest as how long before do you advertise the open house to optimally expose?
I think 2 weeks is good. More than that may be too much. But if you want to get enough exposure, you yourself are going to want to post it several times. So if it's on August 6th, I'm going to start saying, hey, don't forget that August 6th, I have an open house. And I would do it today. I would do it again on Wednesday. I would do it again on Friday. I would do it on Saturday. And then next week. So it'll give you ample time. The nice thing about this, now she's missing her photo. I'm going to click back a second and let's see if this one has a picture. It makes a big deal, right? How do you get this picture here? In Matrix, on the very top, add edit, and then roster. You would put your license number, the same thing you use to log into the MLS, click to edit. Manage your photos, add it in, and select it. Now, do you want a video of all the places you should have your picture? You see, I can't leave you without stuff. So I'm going to come here to our YouTube channel, your YouTube channel, really. And it's playing right here.
Accessing MiamiRealtors.com.
How annoying that person. What I'm going to do, you're not supposed to laugh. You're supposed to say, no, she's wonderful. Here's the list. Oh, I cannot stand. Right, here you go, share. I'm going to copy it. I'll share it with you guys. What we did is that we actually went in and we showed you prime locations where you really need to add your photo. One of them is that one. But I really want you to make sure to watch this. Again, it was right on the first page of the YouTube channel. And why is that? We teach it in class, but some of you will forget. So it's the first thing you see when you're here. And the first one is exactly that, to show you to come to the add edit and put it into here. You like? We did a whole bunch. Anybody coming back for the 1 o'clock? I'm going to take a picture of those of you here. So smile, you're on candid camera. Smile for me, I'll post it. And then for those of you on, I was going to show Adrian one more time. I'm going to come back to the main page so that he sees or she sees, as I'm going to come into here, my firm. I'm going to select, and this is the reverse prospecting. You're talking about discount. This was how many listings were sent when your property was shared. Is this difficult? No. Can you leverage those input forms to search better? Yes. Do you need to know everything? Where are they located? On the MLS page. Here in the MLS under help, they're right here. Where else are they? Form Simplicity, Dot Loop, and Share to Transaction Desk. But they're also on your MLS page on the lower right-hand side. It all stemmed from this. Why are they important? Because we need to know what goes into the multiple listing service database to be able to get the most information possible for our customers and ourselves. And when we will be our currently listing agents, we want to make sure that we clicked on all those items that would help people find our property. I hope you've enjoyed the class.
Thank you.
The Zoom has been very quiet. Everyone okay?
Thank you.
Hi, Paul. Thank
Thank you. I enjoyed the class.
Wonderful. I will be back on at 1 o'clock, hybrid as
you.
well, in person and here. I thank you all. Thank you so much. And I want you to know that we're going to dedicate ourselves, if you do come back, to the MLS page and all of these wonderful items that are here. Okay? Okay. No, thank you all for being Miami members, for being with me. Don't forget that Audrey from Corded was with us and she offered us some info. And I hope to see you all back at 1. Take care. Happy Monday. It's the last day
You too.
of the month of July. Can you believe it?
Oh my.
I
Where
know.
did 2022 go? Alrighty, take care, everyone. Hope to see you this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.